and I've had the privilege of working with close to 3,000 audiences. And what I've found is that there are three very identifiable groups of people out there. There are optimists, there are pessimists, and there are those who say, I'm not a pessimist, I'm not an optimist, I'm a realist. Okay, the optimist says, somewhere, somehow, there's a way. Okay? The pessimist says, there is no way, you might as well give up, forget it, it's not going to work. The realist says, and I can prove it. Am I right? Every time a realist opens his or her mouth, they open it to say something negative. What a privilege and what a responsibility, because people take us seriously. When you stand before a group and you deliver with conviction a message, people take it as truth. So we have a huge responsibility to make that a message that uplifts rather than tears down, a message that inspires rather than discourages or plants seeds of doubt. Boy, what a privilege we have. Take a moment and soak it in. Feel what's here in this room. Look around you, look up, look behind you, look beside you. Just look around and take it in. You just heard that I've delivered 2,700 speeches over my 34 years of speaking. I got to tell you, this is the #1 most motivated audience I've ever addressed. #1. Absolutely. Woo! I'm the same age as Bill Clinton. We're both 55. We were both born in Arkansas at the same time. He was born in Hope. I was born in Little Rock. We grew up there at the same time. We know a lot of the same people. And if he'd made better life choices, he could be speaking to you right now. But I got the better job. Yes. And there he goes. And flames shoot out of this thing, and we come roaring out of this ramp. We're throwing a rooster tail of dirt. We go past the stage intentionally, get to the other end of the field, up on 2 wheels, turn around and come back. He stops in front of the stage and says, okay. And I say, okay, what? The stage is like this big. And he said, jump. I got on wingtips. You know, I'm wearing a suit. So I open the door. What the heck? You know, the show bus, right? So I jump to the stage and I hit it, thank heavens, and slide around a little bit. And then I get my composure and I say, good morning. And I try, you know, my best. And it was, I didn't get injured by the audience. But clearly, the most memorable part of that day was Larry's monster truck, not the keynote speaker. Pete went out there as a persuader to talk people into buying, more or less, cooperating, right? I knew if I tried that, I'd never have offspring, okay? So I figured it's going to be a lot more enlightened on my part to go out there as a partner in problem solving. So the way I approached people is I'd say, hi, I'm Jim Cathcart, I'm here from the company. It's my job to show you how to get us off your back. And when they were convinced I was sincere, when they could tell I wasn't playing a game with them, they'd open their homes, they'd offer me coffee, we'd sit down and solve the problem. See, all of us need to be realistic in acknowledging what's there in the world, but it's how we look at what's there in the world that determines whether we see possibilities in it, no possibilities in it, hey Robert, and whether we see possibilities that have been negated by current reality. You know, one time I was in Kansas City and I was speaking to a group of greeting card executives and franchise owners, and it was a 3-hour seminar, and I was about 2 hours into the seminar and just before time to take the last break, and maybe 20 minutes between me and the break, if that. And all of a sudden, all the lights went out. Every light in the room. There wasn't a glow. It was pitch black. And they opened the door, someone went out, they came back, they said, nope, no need to evacuate, they're gonna put the power back on in a minute. I said, ladies and gentlemen, we can do one of two things. We can go out in the hallway and we can loiter and then come back together, or I can finish this seminar right now in the dark. What do you vote for? They voted for the dark. I did the balance of my seminar in pitch black. And then he said, can I ask one last question? Okay. Do you have a quote? A quote? Yeah, you know, a motto, a slogan, something I could use to motivate myself every day. I said, no. And he said, really? And I said, no, I have something better. I have a question. And I want you to ask this question to yourself every single day, as often as you can think of, to ask the question. He said, okay, what's the question? I said, ask yourself, how would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do? Somewhere deep inside, you know what kind of person you were designed to be. If you want to produce great acorns, think like an oak, not like an acorn. Think like the person you intend to become. Half of what you do is managing point of view. Half the job is keeping people in the right frame of mind. When people don't see much purpose in what they're doing, they don't add much value to what they're doing. Everybody has motives, but what separates the winners from the rest of the crowd is that they act on their motives. They develop the discipline, they take the time and do the actual work to become their best. And today we're going to meet some of the most motivated athletes in the world. Individuals who have made the commitment to do more than other people thought they could. Everyone needs a vehicle for self-development and an avenue for self-expression in order to succeed. For these athletes, sports is that vehicle, and Special Olympics is the avenue. Like you, I am very proud to be part of this wonderful event. Lead with your heart, guide and manage with your head. Here's one way to look at that. A friend of mine said, well, it's all about share of wallet. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, look at your wallet. I looked at it. He said, it's your credentials, your identity. That's part of the picture. He said, it's your cash. That's another part. And it's your clout, what you're able to do. It's share of wallet. I said, well, I think you're looking in a good place, but I would expand my search. I said, because to me, it's the connections that make all the rest of this matter. The acorn has three parts. It's got a stem, a cap, and a seed. And the stem represents its connection to the past. All the acorns, all the oaks that have ever existed in its line before are encoded in that transfer through that stem, the legacy into this acorn. The cap holds onto the seed until the seed's ready to grow on its own. So the cap represents your coaches, your mentors, your role models, your guides, your parents, your friends, your teachers. And when you're ready to grow on your own, the seed of that acorn holds not only your potential, but the potential of every future generation of acorns that will spring from that line. So let me ask a question. What kind of seed is in you? Ask yourself every day, how would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do? How would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do? Looks much better when you get a higher view. How would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do? Blessed are we who speak, for we are the bearers of good tidings. Be a better you. We instill hope in those who have lost their faith in life. We inspire our fellow man to discover the goodness within him and share that goodness with the world. We encourage leaders to have integrity and ethics, to lead with compassion and understanding, and to realize that they are role models for future generations.
Blessed are we who speak because we hang out with the neatest group of people in the world. Our heroes are men and women of honor and wisdom who have left the world a better place than they found it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Woo-hoo.